Hey there, everybody. Welcome to our replay of the '76 Yankee season. First season that I ever rolled dice. I replayed the '76 season. It was in the spring of '77. And I discovered APBA through Baseball Digest and Sporting News. I think that I really was attracted and enjoyed the advertisements that they had telling you about how exciting it would be to be a major league manager and all that. That caught my interest, and eventually, after seeing it again and again, I made the decision to order it, and it arrived a couple of weeks later, and the rest is history. We are playing the Rusty Staub Memorial. It's a Tuesday, Wednesday, Thursday series in May of 1976. And let's look at the Rusty Staub Memorial series between Detroit and the New York Yankees. In '76, Rusty was with the Tigers and he was playing right field. And you can see him there in the lineup. It's Ron LaFleur, very famous for his LaFleur story where he's at some point he goes to jail and he gets out and he becomes a major league ball player and so forth. It's going to be Alex Johnson in left field. The DH is Willie Horton. The right fielder is Rusty Staub. He batted .299 with 15 home runs in 1976, not too shabby. Now, Rusty was originally signed by the Houston Colt 45s, I believe in 1961. And batting fifth for the Tigers, it's Thompson, young first baseman. Then it's the original A-Rod, Aurelio Rodriguez. You got Wackenfuss at catcher, batting seventh. Batting eighth is Tommy Verizor, the shortstop, and batting ninth is not Donald Sutherland, but another Sutherland. He's Gary Sutherland, the second baseman. And on the mound, it's going to be Dave Roberts. Dave Roberts was 16 and 17 with a 4.00 ERA, and he will be facing Ed Figueroa. So we're going to get started now. It's going to be Ron LaFleur. We rolled for Ron LaFleur already, and he doubles into left center field. So Ron LaFleur is on with a double off of Ed Figueroa to start the game off. And it's going to be Alex Johnson, and Alex Johnson strikes out. For the Yankees, it's Ed Figueroa on the mound. Figueroa was 19 and 10 with a 3.02 ERA. Next is going to be Willie Horton. And that's going to be extra bases. That's hammered to left field. And Willie Horton is going to stop and come back to first. So it's an RBI single for Horton. Hit that a ton. But cutting it off quickly was Roy White in left and got it in and kept Horton, who doesn't run very well, he's a slow runner, from turning it into a double. It's going to be Rusty Staub with a runner on first. Rusty Staub. And that's going to be potentially extra bases for Staub. That's hammered to right. Chasing it down is the right fielder Oscar Gamble. And he gets it in, but Staub is on with a double. Runners on second and third now. So Rusty Staub in his memorial game or series, doubles in his first at bat against Ed Figueroa, who's actually 5-0 at this point in the replay, the Yankee replay. Next is Jason Thompson. He lines that right at Willie Randolph for out number two away. And it's the original A-Rod, Aurelio Rodriguez, who batted .240 with 8 home runs in 1976. And he pops up. It's going to be the shortstop Mason calling it. And that's all for the inning. Now the Tigers pick up 1 run on 3 hits and lead at 1-0. We go to the bottom of the first. The bottom of the first is going to be Dave Roberts against Mick the Quick Rivers. And that's lifted to left. Left fielder is Johnson. And he's there. Out number 1. Next is Roy White. And Roy White grounds back to Roberts. He feels his position. out number 2, and it's Thurman Munson. And that's fly out to center field. 3 up, 3 down. We go to the top of the second. 1-0 Tigers. You're joining us and watching the Rusty Staub Memorial. So far, he's had 1 at bat and doubled. It's going to be Walkenfuss here in the top of the second. Scores 1-0 Detroit. It's Ed Figueroa with a pitch, and that's grounded right at the shortstop, Stanley. Fred Chicken Stanley. 1 away. Next is Tommy Verizor. Verizor batted .234 with 1 home run. And he grounds to the third baseman, Nettles, 2 away. Gary Sutherland now, .211 hitter, and he swings and misses. Strike 3. We go to the bottom of the second, 1-0 Tigers. It's going to be Chambliss leading off for the Yanks. Lefty hitting first baseman, who batted .293. Here's a pitch from Dave Roberts, and that's grounded right back to Roberts. Roberts feels his position, 2 away. Next is Lou Piniella, Sweet Lou, fly ball right field, 2 down. And that's Staub making the catch out there. Hey, man. Yeah, rip, man, rip. Le Grand Orange. Velez. How do you get that? I'm wondering. Oh, the Le Grand from playing with Montreal. That's what they call them. The Big Orange, right? Otto Velez walks. He's got a W on 64. Interesting. 14 on 64, so he walks with 2 outs. And it's Greg Nettles, good power for the Yanks. And that is ball 2. High outside. There's the pitch to Nettles again. And that's ball 4. Nettles manages a walk. So 2 back-to-back walks here with 2 outs. Runners on first and second now. And it's Slick Willie. Willie Randolph plays with the Yanks until about 1990 and eventually becomes the manager of the Mets. And that's ball 2. Low and away. And here's the pitch to Randolph. And that's ball 4 to Randolph. So the bases are loaded. With 2 outs, Dave Roberts walks the bases loaded. And now he's facing Chicken Stanley, Fred Chicken Stanley, Farmingville, Iowa. It's a right-handed batter. Batted .238 with 1 home run. And he'll bat with the bases loaded. Here's the pitch from Roberts. And it's swung on and lined to right center field. And that's going to roll. Although we're going to have to look at this one because that's a number 4. And I believe it's a double. It's be a double with the bases loaded for Chicken Stanley. And against a C pitcher. And all runs, here comes Velez, followed by Nettles. Right behind him is Randolph. And Stanley is with a bases clearing 3-run double. Yankees now take the lead 3-1 here in the bottom of the second. And all this started with 2 outs. Big, huge 2-out rally. The crowd here in the Bronx goes wild. I don't know if you can hear them. And it's going to be Mick the Quick Rivers. He's 0 for 1. He flied out in the first. And that's line base hit. Around to score is Stanley. And Rivers is on at first with an RBI single. And Rivers is always a threat to steal. Roberts throws over, and Mick the Quick is back easily. Throws over again. He sets. Here's the pitch, and there goes Rivers. And here's the throw from Walkenfuss. Not in time. So Mick the Quick steals second. That's 1-0 on Roy White. Here's the pitch again to White. And that's a ground ball hit right at the second baseman. That's going to get the Quick to third base. So actually that's the end of the inning. That's the end of the inning. And that's the third out. I'm glad I double checked that. A lot of action going on. So it's a ground ball. And that's the third out. But the Yanks pick up 1, 2, 3, 4 in the bottom of the second, lead at 4-1 now. It's going to be Ron LaFleur against Ed Figueroa. And that's line base hit for Ron LaFleur. They actually have the Ron LaFleur story. That becomes a movie, and he's a convict for a while there, and then he comes back out and gets a tryout, becomes a major league ball player. So it's a rags to riches type story. Going back to Rusty Staub, we're playing his memorial game here. Now Rusty Staub, in his first season, he was 19 years old. And he played between first base and the outfield. He hit only .220. He was at some point in the following season, he was batting only .216 and was sent down to the minors. But by 1965, his stats began to improve. And he had a breakout 67 season. So 65, he was back in the majors. By 67, he led the league in doubles and was selected to the All-Star team, Rusty Staub. It's Alex Johnson with Ron LaFleur at first. Here's the pitch from Figueroa. And that's lifted to center field. Mick the Quick Rivers makes the catch. It's Willie Horton now. He singled his first at bat. And that's ball 4. So runners on first and second for Le Grand Orange. Very popular in Montreal where they retired his number. Played with the Expos in '69 as part of a deal for Don Clendenin and Jesus Alou. But Clendenin refused to report to the Astros and attempted to retire. That's when Bowie Kuhn stepped in and ruled that the deal was official, but Clendenin was to stay with the Expos. Montreal eventually dealt Jack Billingham and Skip Gunn and $100,000 in compensation. So Staub got to the Expos at the start of the 1969 season. Interesting. Don Clendenin eventually ends up with the Mets. It's a 62 for Staub, and that's a 22 with runners on first and second. I believe that's a hit by pitch, but let's double check that. No, it's an error. It's a comebacker right to Staub. Comes up in 63 with Houston. Played 23 seasons. A very good player. Yep, absolutely. So it's an E1. The bases are now loaded. Ed Figueroa can't handle the comeback or bobbles it. And Staub is safe at first. Bases loaded. Only one out. And it's going to be the youngster rookie, Jason Thompson. Batted .218, but with good power, 17 home runs. And that's a ground ball, hard hit right to second baseman. Randolph over to Stanley, back to first for the double play. And Figueroa gets out of that jam. We go to bottom of the third now. It's 4-1 Yanks. Thurman Munson against Dave Roberts. And that's going to be stroked into left field. And Munson's going to hustle around first. Here comes the throw to second. He's in safely. So that's a double for Squatty Munson. Chambliss, swing and a miss. He goes down on strikes for out number 1. It's Lou Piniella. And that's a ground ball right at the second baseman. That's going to get Munson to third. 2 away. And now it's Otto Velez. Otto Velez ends up going to Toronto in the expansion draft in 1977. And that's a swing and a miss. Strike 3. Second strikeout for Roberts. And that ends the inning. But after the leadoff double, Roberts gets 3 consecutive batters. And we go to the top of the fourth, 4-1 Yanks. In the top of the fourth is going to be the original A-Rod, Aurelio Rodriguez. Gold Glove style fielding third baseman. Not too much with the bat. But he hits one up the middle and threw for a base hit here. So Rodriguez on at first. Now it's Walkenfuss who hit 3 home runs in 140 at-bats. 222 average. He's going to square a bunt. And that's going to be a good sacrifice. Yes, it is. So Walkenfuss gets Rodriguez to second. Rodriguez is a average runner, so he'll be moving and grooving. Here's Tom Reiser. And that's hard hit right at the shortstop. He looks Walkenfuss back to second. And it's Sutherland. And that's grounded. Stanley for the third out. So we go to the bottom of the fourth, 4-1 Yanks. It's going to be Nettles, Randolph, and Stanley. Rusty Staub Memorial. So after 3 seasons in Montreal, the Mets make a blockbuster trade for Rusty Staub in 1972 in exchange for Mike Jorgensen, shortstop Tim Foley, and outfielder Ken Singleton, who goes on to have an amazing, illustrious career with Baltimore. So eventually by 72, Staub is with the Mets. Here's Nettles, and that's lifted to right field. 1 out. Willie Randolph. Swing and a miss. Goes down on strikes. And it's Chicken Stanley. Now Stanley batted .238. And he lifts it to center. Ron LaFleur squeezes it for the out. Let's see here. Gonna have to try and get the battery connected here. We got it. It's all good. It's all good. There we go. All right. It is so 3 up, 3 down. In the bottom of the fourth for the Yanks, we go to the top of the fifth. It's going to be Ron LaFleur. Here's a pitch to LaFleur. That's lined. Base hit to left field. Ron LaFleur is on at first. And next is Alex Johnson. He's going to square. And that's a successful sacrifice. 1 away. Over to second goes LaFleur. And it's Willie Horton. And that's going to be extra bases. That's lined to right field. And Horton again is going to stop at first with what looked like a double. In to score is LaFleur. So that's an RBI single, the second RBI single. Second time that Horton has run a double into a single. And next with Horton on at first is going to be Rusty Staub. Rusty Staub, 6'2", 190 pounds, from New Orleans, Louisiana. New Orleans, Louisiana. And that's going to be ball 4. So Staub manages a walk. He's been on all 3 times today. He's slow, so he's going to go station to station. Here's the power-hitting young first baseman, Jason Dolph Thompson, from Hollywood, California. And that's a swing and a miss. Strike 3 for the second out. 2 out now. Runners on first and second. It's 4-2 game. Yankees lead it. The original A-Rod, Aurelio Rodriguez. And he grounds one right at Mason, who steps on second for the force. But the Tigers pick up one on 2 hits. We go to the bottom of the 5th. It's 4-2 Yankees. In the bottom of the 5th, it's going to be Rivers, White, and Munson for the Yanks. We're here in the Bronx on 161st Street. Take the D train. Come over and see us. Here's Mick the Quick. And that's line base hit for Mickey Rivers. It's his second hit of the game. He's 2 for 3. Always a threat on the bases. He stole 43 bases. And there he goes. And here's the throw from Wackenfuss. And not a chance. Rivers stole that off the pitcher. Roy White, with Rivers at second, lifts one to left field. And that's Johnson. Alex Johnson measures it. 1 away. Thurman Munson batted .302 with 17 home runs, all-star catcher for the Yanks. We lose him in August of '79 in a plane crash. Munson, he lines it right at the second baseman, Sutherland, for out number 2. And here is Chris Chambliss, who's 0 for 2. He grounds it to Rodriguez over to first. And after the single and the stolen base, it was 3 up, 3 down. We go to the top of the 6th. 4-2 Yanks. In the top of the 6th is Wackenfuss. John Wackenfuss, the catcher. He grounds to Nettles. 1 away. And this is lined right at the second baseman. A 1-hopper. Takes his time and throws him out. 2 out. Gary Sutherland. Gary Sutherland's 0 for 2. And he hits one right at the shortstop, Stanley, and he boots it. So Sutherland is on its first. It's a ball that Stanley should have handled, but just didn't. 2 outs. Runner on first. We're on the floor. And that's grounded to Randolph. And he takes it himself for the force. So we go bottom of the 6th. It's 4-2 Yanks. And it's going to be Pinella, Velez, and Nettles. Here's Pinella. That's lined base hit for Pinella. He's 1 for 3. Otto Velez is 0 for 1. He struck out, walked his first at bat, struck out his second at bat. And he swings and misses here. 4th strikeout for Roberts. Greg Nettles is up next. And he lines that base hit. Pinella, I believe, is a slow runner. And he is. So he's going to go station to station. He stops at second. First and second for Slick Willie Randolph. From Holly Hill, South Carolina. 5'11", 165. And that ball is lined base hit. Pinella's going to have to stop at third again. Bases loaded with only 1 out. And it's Fred Chicken Stanley. Stanley's 1 for 2. He hit a 3-run double and scored in the second inning. And that is ball 2 outside. Chicken Stanley with the bases loaded and only 1 out. The infield's going to be brought in by the Tigers here. It's 4-2 Yanks here in the bottom of the 6th inning. Here's the pitch from Roberts. And that ball is swung on and lifted to left field. That's going to be far enough for Pinella. No, they're going to hold Pinella up. They're going to hold up Pinella. Doesn't really have the wheels, so it's going to be Mickey Rivers now. with 2 outs, bases loaded. Infield's back for Detroit. In the bottom of the 6th, it's a 4-2 Detroit game. And that ball is lined, base hit, into score. Comes Nettles. Randolph right behind him. Stanley stops at third. It's first and third now. And that's all she wrote for Roberts here in the bottom of the 6th. So the Yanks score 2 big runs. And it's going to be Roy White now with 2 outs. It's going to be Steve Grilly. Steve Grilly, he's a C. He'll be a B pitcher. For Roy White. I'm sorry, wait a second. Let's see where we're at. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. Mickey Rivers singles. I got a scorekeeping issue right now. 2, 3, 4, 5. No, yeah. Top of the 4th, okay, I see what happened. Rivers, this is his third single. And he had a single that I just filled in with 2 RBIs in the previous inning, and that threw off my scorekeeping. So Rivers is 3 for 4 now, and there goes Rivers, and here's a throw from Wackenfuss, and not in time. So Rivers steals his third base, has his third hit of the game. And it's now 6-2 Yankees, and it's Roy White. It's going to be Grilly. Let me see, where is he? Steve Grilly is going to pitch. He's a C. For this batter, he's going to be a B. And he's a YW. All right, so here's the pitch to Roy White. Second and third. Randolph is at third. Rivers is at second. There's 2 outs. Here's the pitch to White. And that's going to be hammered to left field. And that's a base hit. Around to score is Randolph. Rivers, here's the throw home. The relay, safe at home. So it's a 2-run single by Roy White. Yanks pick up 4 runs here in the bottom of the 6th. And White is on at first. It's going to be Thurman Munson. And that ball is lined right at the shortstop, who takes it himself for the 4th out and the 3rd out of the inning. But the Yanks pick up 1, 2, 3, 4 on 5 hits. 1, 2, 3, 4 on 5 hits here in the bottom of the 6th, and now lead at 8-2 in the Staub Memorial Series. So it's going to be Alex Johnson in the top of the 7th, Horton and Staub. Here's the pitch to Johnson, and that's grounded to the shortstop Stanley. Out number 1. Next is Willie Horton. Willie Horton is 2 for 2 and walked, so he's been on all 3 times. But not this time, he strikes out. It's a 4th strikeout for Figueroa. That Figueroa is going for his 6th victory. He's 5-0 in this season. And it's Rusty Staub, Le Grand Orange. Born in New Orleans, Louisiana. And that's hit up the middle and through. Base hit for Staub. So Staub is 2 for 3. With 2 outs, Rusty singles up the middle. And it's Jason Thompson. He lifts it to left field. It's going to be Roy White for the 3rd out. So after 6.5, it's the Yankees 8 and the Tigers 2. It's going to be Chambliss, Pinella, and Velez for the Yanks. Steve Grilly. And that's going to be grounded to the 3rd baseman, Rodriguez. A-Rod. Aurelio Rodriguez, 1 away. And that's lined to center field. Right there is LaFleur, out number 2. Next is Velez. Velez is 0 for 2 on the day. He struck out and flied out. Oh no, he struck out twice. He flies out this time to the right fielder, Staub. And that's the end of 7. It's the Yanks 8 and the Tigers 2. It's going to be Rodriguez leading it off. And that's a hard hit right at the second baseman, Randolph. He takes his time. 1 away. Next is John Walkenfuss. And that's ball 4. Walkenfuss is on with a walk. So Walkenfuss is on at first. That's going to be Tommy Verizor. And Verizor hits one right at the 3rd baseman. Moving to his left and throws on the run and gets Verizor. But moving to second is Walkenfuss. 2 outs now. And it's Gary Sutherland. And he grounds it weakly to shortstop. On the run. 3 outs. So after 7.5, it's 8-2 Yanks. We go to the bottom of the 8th. It's between Nettles, Randolph, and Stanley. Here's the pitch to Nettles. That's hit hard to right field. And that's going to roll to the wall. Hustling after it is LaFleur. He gets it in quickly, but Nettles is on with a stand-up double. His 2nd hit of the game. He's 2 for 3. Willie Randolph now. And that's ball 4. So we're going to see a pitching change for Detroit. Pitching change for Detroit. See John Hiller. John Hiller is going to face Chicken Stanley, who most likely is going to square away, and he does. And that's a successful sacrifice. Both runners move up. 1 away now. So Mick the Quick, who's 3 for 4 with 3 stolen bases today and 3 RBIs. I'm sorry, it's Stanley up. Stanley bunted. All right, 1 away, and now it's Mick the Quick with 2nd and 3rd. They're going to walk Rivers. So intentional walk for Rivers, and we're going to roll for him. Would have been an out. But the bases are loaded, infield is in for the Tigers. And that's going to be a 54. It's a fly ball to right field to Staub. Now Staub's arm is not what it used to be. And both runners are going to move up, and that's a sacrifice fly for Roy White. Picks up his 3rd RBI. 2nd out of the game. So Nettles scores. Going to 3rd is Randolph. Rivers on at 1st. That's getting Munson with runners on 1st and 3rd. It's 9 now. 9-2 Yankees. 2 outs. Here's the pitch from Hiller. It's a 53. It's a 19. The runners on first and third. And that's going to be a ball booted by Rodriguez at third. So Munson is on with an E5. Another run scores on the error. And to second is going to be Rivers. Let me double check how far Rivers goes. Rivers makes it to third base. First and third now. Hiller facing Chris Chambliss. So the Yanks score another one. Make it 10-2. And it's Chris Chambliss. And that's 46. So 27. With runners on first and third. 27. Just a ground ball to the third baseman, I believe. No, but Hiller is a Y, so that's a strikeout. Hiller gets a strikeout for the third out. So the Yanks leave 2, but score 2, and lead it 10-2 at the end of 8 full innings of play. So in the 9th inning, it's Figueroa going for his 6th complete game of the season. He's going to face LaFleur, Johnson, and Horton. And that's popped up. That's Munson, 1 away. Next is Alex Johnson, and he grounds it right at the third baseman, Nettles, over to first. Gets him by a step. Horton needs to get on so we can see Legrand Orange one last time. And he does. Base hit for Horton. That's his 3rd hit of the game. He's 3 for 4. So Willie Horton, who batted .262 with 14 home runs, gets his 3rd hit of the game. And there it is, Rusty Staub. Rusty Staub is 2 for 3. He's doubled in the 1st inning, reached on an error, walked, and singled. And that ball is hit hard right at the shortstop. And he's going to take it himself for the last out. And Rusty ends the game 2 for 4. Reached base 4 out of the 5 times. And the Yankees win it 10-2. Game 20-22 of the season. And improve their record to 14-8. Figueroa gives up 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9 hits. Goes 9 innings, gives up 9 hits, 2 runs, 2 earned runs. He walks 1, 2, 3, walks 3, strikes out 4, gives up no home runs, but he gets the win. I'm going to do his card now. You can look at his stats. Figueroa's stats on the year right here. This is versus Detroit. Goes 9 innings. This time it's 9 hits, 2 runs, 2 earned runs, walks 3, strikes out 4, and he gets the win versus Detroit. So there he's 6-0. He's won all 6 starts. He's been doing outstanding. If you look here, he's never given up more than 2 runs. He's had 1 shutout. So Ed Figueroa has been the ace so far for the Yanks, who are 14-8 after 22 games in our replay of the 76 season. So we're going to take a break and go do some exercise. We'll be back in a couple hours to continue our Friday Easter weekend baseball tabletop APBA marathon. And we'll continue our Legrand Orange Memorial series. So Staub does pretty good. Gets 2 hits, a double and a single He also walks, goes 2 for 4, not too shabby. Plays right field. Very consistent ball player. Very good teammate. And that's all she wrote. Rest in peace, Rusty Staub. Game 1 of your 3-game memorial series between Detroit and the Yankees, 1976. Bye now.